How's it going, guys? Welcome to Comic Book History Today, where we're talking about comic book history today. Today we're going to be going over Richard Rider, or Nova, who was introduced in Nova, issue 1, 1976, and his powers include flight, increased strength, increased speed, durability, stamina, accuracy, reflexes, and the ability to channel the Nova Force, a force that's just kind of unique to their people. He also has an established connection with the Xandarian World Mind, a database of all the information gathered by the people of Xandar. Richard Rider had a fairly normal upbringing with two loving parents, friends at high school, and even a girlfriend, until he's approached by Roman Day, a Nova Corps leader and the sole survivor of his home planet Xandar, which was destroyed by Zor, a space pirate. Becoming injured in a fight against Zor, Day would seek a human to become the next Nova, in hopes that his successor would continue his mission to avenge Xandar. After some time learning the extent of his powers by taking on some smaller villains, Condor, Powerhouse, Diamond Head, and even the Corruptor, he would eventually come to the aid of the recently reconstructed Xandar, eventually becoming tired of the warfare and wishing to return home. But to do this, he would have to relinquish his powers as a Nova, and amongst this time that he would not have powers, Nebula would destroy Xandar again. Not realizing that he didn't finish school before he left, therefore he was kind of screwed, he ends up working a fast food job to pay his way, and he massively regrets giving up his powers. While fighting some bouts of depression because of this, he subsequently gets kidnapped and dropped off of a building by a guy named Night Thrasher. Thrasher's reasoning for this is because he thought Rider's powers would be reactivated once a spike of adrenaline was released, hoping to create a new superhero team called the New Warriors. Thrasher really had no way of knowing this would work, but Rider would agree to join the team and would be nicknamed Kid Nova for a time, eventually shedding this name after a suit upgrade and returning to the name Nova. While fighting an enemy named Supernova, Rider would use the full power of the Nova Force to restart the Xandarian World Mind and reconstitute its population, but when he did this, it would also reinstate the Nova Corps. After training with a different reality's version of himself called Nova 0 out of 0, Rider would go on to save Earth once again from a Death Storm bomb. Unfortunately, though, however, this wasn't on the Nova Corps' agenda, and they stripped him of his abilities, so he got a dishonorable discharge, if you would call it that, and his powers would be given to Supernova, who came to Earth to serve as a Nova there. Rider, now powerless, would rejoin the New Warriors, where he would pursue Namorita, who's got a pretty lengthy history in and of herself, so that's definitely for another time. So, Nova as a character has been around for a really long time, so from here on out I'll kind of cover some feats that he's done and bring you up to speed on what he's doing now. So, picking up with the events of Annihilation, the Nova Corps is slain by the Annihilation Wave, giving Nova pure access to the World Mind and the Nova Force. However, this much access to it could make him go insane, so he would use it sparingly. However, he would go directly to Annihilus, and during this battle, Quasar, who can basically intensely control light, would actually be killed off, and after debating with the World Mind about what to do, they decided to remain connected in order to fight the wave head-on. 205 days after the Annihilation Day, he forms the United Front, which was divided into two teams. The land team, consisting of Roman the Accuser, Drax the Destroyer, Gamora, and Star-Lord Peter Quill, while his interstellar forces contained former heralds of Galactus such as Fire-Lord, Redshift, and Stardust, along with hundreds of others, including the Super Skrull at one point. Wanting to confront Annihilus, Nova would attempt to fight him alone, but with the help of Phyla-Vell, they stripped Annihilus of Quasar's quantum bands, and in one of the coolest looking panels I've ever seen, he rips the innards of Annihilus out, yelling, "This is for the Nova Corps." Following this, Rider collapses and sees the ghostly figures of Thanos and Lady Death, to which he says, "Better luck next time." During the events of Civil War, he would learn about the Stanford incident, which involved his former compatriots, the New Warriors, in which 612 people died, and after an ensuing fight with the Thunderbolts, he would decide that he would rather just serve in the Nova Corps, because he didn't want to register in the Superhero Registration Act, which was a lot of the divide at the time. His most recent appearance is in Jonathan Hickman's Imperial story, denying Peter Quill help to investigate the murders of the Galactic Space Council. And yeah, you'll have to read Imperials to follow Nova's more recent story. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video about Nova, or Richard Rider, and if there's anything that I missed, or if there's anything you would have liked me to have covered, comment that down below, and, just kind of help me get a general feel of what the key things you guys want to know about a character are, maybe if I missed anything. If I didn't, let me know, and let me know if this was a perfect video for you. Anyways, have a good one. See ya.